I want to talk about Queen of Hearts because this is a project for you that was more kind of reflective. You kind of looked inward more, I think, than some of your past projects. There's a couple of joints on there that you can party to. I know Libido is on there and Try You is on there and things like that. That's in a little bit more what we're used to, SASH form, bangers that you can turn up to. But at the same time, you really kind of took a look inward, on the Queen of Hearts project. So talk a little about that.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, it was a time in my life where I was emotionally going through it with a girl. She basically broke my heart, and I think that all of my emotion, everything that I was feeling during that time, like rage, like depression and anxiety, it all came out into my music, which it always does. But during that time, that's what I was going through. So that's just like the whole vibe of the album as well. I've been working with the same producer since I was 16.
Right.
Who's been with me the whole way. He produced the whole album and he threw together all those songs, and it's just kind of like the vibe was perfect and kind of matched accordingly with my emotions and what was going on during that time, as well as the album. I mean, obviously, like Libido and Try You were still on there.
Right.
A couple of more turned up songs, but like the whole vibe of the album in general was that like kind of like emotional, distressed, Queen of Hearts type of like heartbreak situation. And it was based on one person and a real story, and everything came together in like such an original, authentic way. It was just funny because she had a tattoo on her arm that said Queen of Hearts. The album was called Queen of Hearts, and I named it that before I even knew about that.
No way. I didn't know you named it that before you knew. That's wild.
I named it Queen of Hearts, and when I was with her, she had a tattoo on her fucking arm that said Queen of Hearts, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how does that make any sense? So it all fell in line. Like, you know how in life things just fall in line? Like, perfect.
And you can't explain it?
Does God exist? Or like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah.
It's got to be a sign for something,
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Fell into alignment. Album came out dope. I was super excited about it. And I still it's my favorite project of mine.
Yeah, it's my favorite project of yours too. I feel like it tells, the most complete story that you've kind of told so far, And I mean, granted, you're still early on in your craft. You've got a long time left to go here in music, and you've got a lot left to say, I'm sure.
Unless I die.
Well, let's, hope not.
But if I do, then I still got a pretty dope catalog.
If you do, then yeah, you still got a dope catalog, and we will find that other SoundCloud for sure at that point.
Yeah, we'll find it.
That's right. Yeah, someone will have to share that.
Close friends will be like, "Oh, that's Brazzer."
Right. For sure, bro. I was gonna say, one of my favorite things that you did for Queen of Hearts was the Pill Bottle USB drive. And I want you to talk about how that came about, because I think, and correct me if you think that I'm wrong, I think that I'm right, that artists need to get creative in how they present their album to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I made that. So I made a couple trailer videos for the album, and one of the trailer videos, it's still out. It's called Goodbye. It's on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can, through my website. If you go through there, you'll find it on my YouTube channel.
Hell yeah, we'll link it all below so everyone can find it.
Yep, sashofficial.com. But
Love it.
Man, that is like my fucking prized possession right there. It's in the video. You see it in the video.
Yeah.
With a pill bottle, with the album, like we created all of this, and my producer helped me come up with that idea. Insane, like the name of all the tracks on the pill bottle, just as it was like pills, like directions how to use pills.
Right.
But like it's just the song, the track listing, and then a pill-shaped USB that I found on Google that made like 100 of them.
It's wild.
Inside of there with the album on it is like. Shit, man. I'm just glad that I have the video as like, proof of how we did it and like marketing proof.
Right.
So, yeah, it's super, super cool idea.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask kind of like how you guys thought of that, or was it just one of those moments where you were like, oh, like why are we not doing this?
Queen of Hearts was a time when we were all just kind of like all up in like
all that stuff.
And all that shit. I was like, dude, you might as well have you know, a pill bottle with a pill in it that like you take as the album, but instead of
That's
the
nuts.
pill, it's the USB. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
man.
nuts. Can you talk a little bit more about innovate or die? You know, especially with COVID, I think the one thing that COVID more than anything has forced out of music is it's forced us to innovate and be different and think of new ways to, you know, find audiences or do whatever. And like with that, you know, the pill bottle thing for me was so creative. Talk about as an artist, you know, how important it is to continually be creative, you know?
Yeah, man. That's the most important thing, and that's all that really matters is how creative you are in the studio, outside of the studio,
Yeah.
in terms of like marketing efforts, just pretty much everything. It just has to do with creativity. So if you're good at marketing and you're creative in terms of marketing, then and you're good in terms of like being musically creative too, then that's super important. But I think it is very important to be creative in terms of like a marketing level, like, you know, doing little trailer videos, doing
Right.
music videos, like, you know, pushing your content as much as you can in like any type of creative way. The trailer videos, like all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
and that's probably number one, and consistency too. I think we talked about that, but consistency is super important.
Yeah.
And then just quality, man.
Yeah, totally.